Hello, MotoAmerica fans. It's time for another episode of Off Track with Carruthers and Bice. You'll laugh, you'll cry, and you may even learn something from this unlikely pair and their special guest. The mic is yours, Paul and Sean.
Hello, MotoAmerica fans. Welcome to this latest edition of Off Track with Carruthers and Bice. This is another one of our special video versions where we know that you guys love to see, well, Paul's face. I don't know if you love to see my face, but I know you're going to love to see the face of number 12 in Supersport, riding the Warhorse HSBK Racing Ducati Panigale V2. It's not a V12.
He wishes it was a V12.
V12 is me.
Can you imagine if it was a V12? My God. Xavi Forés. I want to start, Xavi, by talking about your name because I know it's Ch in the beginning, and that's kind of a Spanish thing.
Yeah, well, my name in the passport is Javier, but no one knows me by Javier. So I do as well the Endurance World Championship, and they put on the live timing, they put Javier all the time, and the people think he's my brother. That's funny. Yeah.
So
you have a brother racing as well? No, it's me.
But literally, I've seen Javier spelled with a J in the beginning, at the beginning.
Yeah.
And I live in Ohio. There's a college in Cincinnati called Xavier University. It's spelled just like Xavier.
Yeah.
Some people say Xavier.
No. So most of the people here in America call me Xavi, which is good because Italian people as well call me Xavi.
Right.
But in Spain, they call me Xavi.
And the V is pronounced like a B.
Yeah.
Xavi.
Yeah, Xavi.
And there was Ruben Chaus, remember?
Exactly.
Yeah, and some people called him Zaus and stuff like that.
So the fact they call me with the X is because I'm from Valencia, which we have a kind of dialect.
Okay.
And it's the pronunciation we have there. So since when I was really kid, they started to call me Xavi, and everyone knows me by Xavi.
Yeah. And coming from Valencia, I mean, man, that's like, to me, kind of the mecca of motorcycle racing with that track.
Yeah.
Do you feel that way about that track? Is that your track?
I was the first official winner of that track in 99.
No kidding.
Yeah.
In what?
In the sport production 1 to 5 class.
Okay.
Me, Jorge Lorenzo, and some of the MotoGP riders.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
That speaks to you. You have a lot of versatility. I mean, you've raced all over the world, and you've been involved in lots of different motorcycles, a lot with Ducati, but you've also been on a lot of different tracks. So do you think that helps you in our country because our tracks are a little bit tricky, a little bit interesting to learn? And talk to us about Road Atlanta that you just left because you did race there several years ago. Yeah.
Well, especially my career was not that easy, especially because I was always trying to stay on the World Championship, but unfortunately I never had a manager. I always did myself the work out of the track. So I was always believing that there is motorsport out of the MotoGP or Superbike. So I was always thinking that whatever you have, try to win. So I always try to stay on a team that brings me good bikes and try to be competitive. So I was in the German championship. I won the championship. I was in the Spanish championship. I won the championship. I was in the BSB. I did some podiums on 2019. And then back to Superbike, I did some podiums there. So whatever I did on my career, it was like, I try to enjoy as much as I can. So I was in Atlanta in 2004 because on that period, there was like a Suzuki Cup. And it's the first rider of its national championship was invited to do that race. So I was representing Spain, and my very first time in coming out from Spain was Atlanta, actually, and I enjoyed a lot. I was a kid. I was like 16 or something like that, and everything was new for me. I was so excited to go out of Spain. I bring myself. I don't think you remember George Bukmanovic, the small guy.
George.
Yeah, he was my mechanic there. I bring him with me, and Kevin Swans was helping us because he was a good friend of George. So for me, it was like living a dream because my idol from when I was a child was Kevin Swans.
Wow.
So everything was putting together, and I won one race, and I had some issues on the first race, and I won the second one. So that was my first race out of Spain. And for sure, when I arrived to Atlanta in the first race this year, I felt like I was not completely lost.
Right.
Honestly, I felt like some familiarities, even if some of the parts of the track were a little bit different, I didn't feel lost. So it makes everything easier. It's not like here, but where I never seen this track before. I need to work later to have some references, and I am using a lot the YouTube videos from last year to watch the races.
Yeah. I was going to say, it is strange that if you haven't been to a track for a long time, you still have some kind of, I don't know, muscle memory or something that helps you to say, okay, I remember going around this track before and how it helps.
Well, honestly, in Atlanta, it was not that easy to remember each part of the track, but it was like, okay, I went through this corner previously, so it's not completely new. But especially when we are used to racing the World Championship and we arrive to the new track, like last year was Indonesia, we've been in Thailand for the first time ever, and you have to adapt quite quick to the new tracks. You need to learn the layouts quite quick because the weekend is short. Especially here is going to be shortened because we have the long race on Saturday, and I only have 3 sessions before to try to set the bike, set myself, try to get the pace and everything. But this is something that I always train on myself in when I'm at home. I try to always go to a tracks where I don't know, and even if I do supermoto, I try to ride on the sense of the track and then on the different sense in order to refresh these things. It's very important, and it's more important than the people things.
Now, I know you wanted to come here for a long time, right?
Yeah.
So were you wanting to come here and then they took Baz, and then you're wanting to come here and they brought Petrucci?
Yeah.
Is that how it worked?
Yeah, it worked like that. So
and then finally.
Yeah, finally. So from 2019 or 2020, 2019, they start to build a team and they bring Zanetti. And I was really close to come here, but my contract with Honda expired on December. So I couldn't race any bike till January. So I couldn't do the last 3 runs as Zanetti does.
Mm-hmm.
Zanetti did. And it was such a shame for me because I say, okay, I do these 3 last races. I tried to stay on the front. I was coming from the World Superbike and my name was good because I was doing well on Superbike, and say, okay, I can stay on the championship. I wanted to stay for a while. And unfortunately, it didn't happen. Then I was in BMW, and honestly, Petrucci had a big name on his shoulders, and he was the main to come here. But since the last winter, the team offered me to race in Supersport. It was not my first choice, but I say, okay, maybe it's not that bad. I stay 1 year in Supersport. I try to learn the tracks. I try to know the paddock, the championship, everything, and then for the future, maybe I can jump on the Superbike. So this is my target right now. I want to stay. I want to win this championship, and then I would like to try to stay on the Superbike because it's a class I was always racing, the bike I was always racing, and I feel I can be strong there.
Now, you went to Daytona and it was horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, everything that went wrong anything that could go wrong did go wrong.
Yeah.
And then you went to Atlanta and everything was different and you had a perfect race. Yeah. You've won both races. You have 50 points. You have a big championship lead. And now you come here and they throw this endurance longer race into the mix. Is that okay? I mean, you have experience with endurance racing, obviously with changing riders and stuff, but this is just you.
Yeah, is that okay? I was, before to come here, I was talking and trying to make a plan for the weekend with the guys because I tried to give them a little bit my experience from the endurance because it's quite tricky. The time you lose, like refueling, changing tires, we need to understand the rules because I don't know if we have a minimum time on the pit lane or we can do that quick and go. So as soon as I have this information, we will try to work because it's gonna be tricky. It's gonna be tricky because our bike is good for quick change, but we don't know the fuel consumption yet of the bike. We don't know how many laps we can do with a full fuel tank. We need to try to work on that. But it's quite interesting. I mean, it's gonna be a good. A positive thing for the class, for our class. Yeah, for sure.
And it's also interesting because there's a decision if like you change the front tire or just the back tire, things like that.
Yeah, we're gonna try when we try the pit stops after the practices, we are gonna try both front and rear because we are quite quick, and we don't know, we don't have enough time to keep riding on the track to see the front tire how long it stays on the performance. So initially we will change both tires because it's more safe, especially if you are fighting for the victory at the end of the race and we are quite close to each other. If we have that extra, it's going to be good.
One more, and then I'll let Sean go. How were you impressed with the level of like, Josh Hayes, of course, but the younger guys? You think they ride well, and you think they're?
Yeah, I am big fan of the championship. I was watching the last year races, everyone. So I know the performance of Josh Herring, and I have seen he was struggling on some of the races. Tyler Scott was fast. Josh Hayes is always fast. He has a lot of experience. And I'm still, in Atlanta, I was still learning from Josh Hayes. When he passed me, I see some lines that I couldn't do it. So I say, okay, I'm going to stay behind him and I'm gonna try to copy his line. So the level is good. I mean, Stefano Mesa is doing well with the Kawasaki. We are like 4 or 5 riders that we can fight for victories easy. So I'm quite impressed, and I am enjoying a lot, to be honest.
Do you remember how quick your pit stops were at Daytona?
I didn't. I don't know because
he didn't make it to one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
On my third lap, I
sorry,
finished.
I forgot. I didn't mean to point that. That wasn't a trick question, by the way.
Yeah, it's going to be like maybe 14 seconds.
Okay, because you're going to find this out, but they're doing later on in the entrant meeting. I think the intervention is like 9 seconds or something. So, and that's
you have to stay minimum 9 seconds.
Pit in to pit out. It's not just in the pit box. So
okay, because in the World Superbike works different because it's like a time you have to across the pit entry to across the pit exit is the total time you have to stay inside the pit.
That's right. That's what we're doing.
That's what this is.
We're doing the same.
Yeah, and it's 9 seconds.
That's not very long, right?
No, it's quick.
9 seconds signs. I go in and I go up.
That's what I heard at lunchtime today. Now we'll find out. So obviously the concern was, can anybody go faster than that? And if they do, they can't leave the pit.
Impossible.
Right. That's what I'm getting at. So maybe
I thought it was 9 seconds on the stands.
I think it's from pit in to pit out, and maybe like I said, it hasn't been announced yet, but there's a lot of rumor about it.
We have now at 4:00. I think we have.
You'll find a
meeting.
You're going to find out then. Okay. So, the bike itself is this bike different than what Heron rode last year?
No, it's the same. Okay, it's completely the same bike. Last Monday I was riding in Pocono track day with with Ducati New York and some customers, and I was riding the V2. The original version with the full power. And I say, mate, this is the bike.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is the power, the power the bike has. Our bike is not that fast. The people think that the bike is fast. It's not that fast. I mean, on the top speed.
Because of the restrictions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the top speed, I was passed even by Josh Hayes a couple of times on the back straight. And he's big.
Yes.
He's bigger than me.
He is.
And his bike was as fast as mine, but we found a huge difference between my bike, Josh's bike, and the Stefano Mesa and Tyler Scott bike. These 2 bikes were super fast. The positive of our bike is the traction we have on the maximum lean, so we are able to stay on the first part of the gas quite quick comparing the others. That's the biggest advantage or the positive way of our bike. But comparing the last year bike with Josh is exactly the same.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we've heard that the Suzuki 750 is the one that really jumps off the corner really well. That apparently has some advantage.
Yeah.
I mean, at least in that part of the track anyway.
If you see the first race in Atlanta, on the back, at the end of the back straight, I put some meters away from Tyler Scott, and there is a huge back straight. And he was able to recover that meters and pass me like quite easy. And I had to brake massively to pass him back. I don't know what's going to happen on a tracks that we have to deal with long straights or
like
so.
The next one, Road America. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, because I don't know the tracks.
This one's okay.
This one should be fine for us, but Road America or Texas maybe.
Yeah,
Texas.
Yeah, we will have some extra work to do on brakings and I feel really strong on brakes. I was always good.
I can't remember who told me, but they said, ask him why he's braking is not so good. But they were joking because I think you've shown everybody that your braking is your strong point.
Yeah.
Is that a combination of the bike, or is that something you've always been good at?
No, I was always good on that. On the World Championship, if you are not braking that much, you are not on the front, because everyone is massively braking. You can see Toprak, you can see Jonathan Ray. Everyone is so hard on the brakes because it's the way the front Pirelli works. You can hold the brake quite deep, and then you can put the bike in, and the bike stays there. So this is something that you learn, and you keep carrying all your career, because that is impossible to put this away. So it's my strongest point right now. Also on this bike, the bike is quite stable on brakes. We work for that, and I felt that I could brake a little bit later if I was needing on the race. Honestly, I'm not like, but I'm still, I can brake a little bit later because the bike allows me to do that, which is the strongest point for us. And I am enjoying this.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm looking at your forearms in the telltale sign. Have you had the surgery? It looks like you did.
Yeah, I had, when I came in Atlanta in 2004, I already had this.
Oh, when you really?
Yeah. Long time ago. I was one of the first riders to do this surgery because it was impossible to. So I was finishing the races with the arms like that, and I couldn't open my fingers.
Wow.
And it was so bad. Yeah. So since I got the surgery, it's nothing.
In Spain? You got the surgery in Spain?
In Spain, yeah.
Is it both arms?
Both, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, the left is a little more unusual. It seems like everybody gets the right.
It's both, because you remember on the past when we've been racing the old bikes, to shift back, we've been using the clutch. And it was a cable one. It was not a hydraulic.
Yeah.
So you've been like arm pumping all the time.
Yeah. Cable clutch. I hate those things. They're the worst things ever.
Long time ago.
You won an IDM a German championship superbike. And I was trying to remember, there was a year, and I think it was the year after, you won in 14.
14, yeah.
Yeah. Cameron Bobier went over there and raced one round in 15. I think it was the year after you were done.
He did. He did. I can't remember which race. I think he finished on the podium.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. And it was one of the, they said the track was like, it had like a railroad track.
Yeah, it's light dry. Yeah, it was like half, it was a road track.
Yeah, it's literally a road.
They closed the roads and they made the circuit there.
Like old school.
Yeah. He said he couldn't believe it. Well, Paul's dad used to do that all the time when he raced. So, and those roads.
If you crash there, you can get lost on the field because it's high like that. You can get lost on there.
You hope you don't hit anything on the way.
Crazy.
So let's just project ahead a little bit. So you win this year's Supersport Championship, second year in a row for your team to win that championship. Would the expectation or hope be that you'd move up to Superbike in MotoAmerica, or would you go back to Europe? What do you think you might do?
No, I have no plans to go back in Europe because I think my time in World Superbike has ended, because I don't know, I can't imagine myself with my age going on a factory team. And now we've used it the last years on Superbike, on the Worlds. If you are not on the factory team, you cannot stay on the podiums. Rarely races you can stay on the podium. So you have to move forward. You have to try to bring new challenges on your career. Otherwise, you get bored. And the last year on the last races of Superbike, I was struggling because I felt I was strong. I was nearly on the limit of my riding all the time, and I was fighting for 8, 9 all the time. I say, wow, that's
no fun.
This is not what I want, So if I have the chance to stay here on the Superbike in MotoAmerica, for me is the priority. I want to finish my career here, and now I have a baby, my family, and hopefully I can bring my family here. We can stay here like more together and traveling in America, and of course enjoying this championship, because it's a long time I wanted to come here. I don't want to stay 1 year and then go away.
So are you going to go back and forth all the time?
Now I'm doing, but from end of July, I will move with my family, and we will stay till the end of the championship.
They'll come here.
Yeah.
Because then the baby's old enough to fly.
Because now the baby is 1 month.
Yeah, it's 2.
So when she's 3.5 months, 4, we will move.
So you must have been very happy. I mean, you went home after Road Atlanta and you get to see the baby for the first time.
Yeah,
It's
because
incredible.
I left, the baby was 1 week when I left.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, every single
That's
20
hard.
minutes, I was video calling my wife.
Oh,
Yeah. But
that's
this is
hard.
what it is. We talk this at home. It's my job, and we have to accept that.
Yes.
Right.
And my wife we are 19 years together, and she understands what my job means for me, and she was always helping me. So it's fine.
That's good.
Now, when Danilo was living in America here, he was in Pennsylvania. Is that where you're
I
staying?
think he was back and forward as well, but when he was staying, he was in Pennsylvania.
Is that where you are?
we are? Yeah, I'm there now.
Same kind of setup.
Yeah.
Did you talk to Danilo much before this year? And have you talked to him at all since you've been on the team?
No, I didn't talk to him. No,
Okay.
I didn't meet him. I met him in this winter in Portimao where I was testing with the endurance
Oh, right.
bike,
Yeah.
and he was on the super bike, but we didn't talk that much.
And you guys didn't know each other then?
Yeah, we know each other. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
We follow each other, and we are not friends because we don't have that kind of relationship,
Right.
but we are normal.
Now, what about you and Tony Elias?
He's a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
We grow together on the motorsports. We've been racing in mini motors together, Spanish Championship, 1 to 5. Then he moves to 1 to 5 World Championship, and I was in Supersport. We separate that ways there, but we keep always in a good contact. He's a
That's
good guy.
great. He really is. He's been great for
Yeah.
our series. And I mean, we knew
He's a
how
good
much,
guy.
and he embraces the US seemingly like you do too. I mean, the same kind of thing.
Yeah,
So,
he's I mean, the last when he was staying on the Suzuki and he was winning the championship, he told to me, "I will never come back to Europe.
yeah.
I'm enjoying here." So he's living here in LA. He
Yeah.
retired of racing and he was still living here. He's enjoying the life here as much as I hope I can do, because it's European guys. Most of us likes American style.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's completely different that what we have in Europe. So we always like to spend time here.
Do you think you might end up settling in California like Tony did?
I don't know because honestly, I'm trying to fix some other businesses in America by a couple of friends of mine in from Spain, but this is something that we are having in trying to have in Miami. So maybe I have to fix there, but everyone told me it's quite expensive in Miami.
So it's
I don't-
California, though.
As California, no?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what is gonna happen on my future, but I hope I can spend the time here and try to be involved on racing. Even if I am out of the bike, I would like to stay involved on racing because it's my life. It's what I did all my career. So that would be good for me.
Yeah. So when we were doing your bio for the website, there was something that came up that I kind of found a little hard to believe. You can tell by looking at me, I love food. Okay. My favorite food to eat in Spain is paella.
Paella.
And that's your
It's from
favorite?
Valencia.
Is that your
The
favorite?
paella, the original paella is from Valencia.
And
I
it-
can cook a paella.
And is it
It's-
your favorite dish?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So
Why would you question that?
it just seems like
Did you think he'd say spaghetti?
well, the only thing I know, I know some things, but the only thing I know is like paella is Spanish and I love it.
No.
It's my favorite
So-
thing.
If I am able to cook a paella in America, I will invite all of you guys and you will taste the proper paella. Not cooked by me because I'm not that good, but my dad is coming to Laguna maybe for the end of the season for the last races. So I will bring all the stuff to
And
cook
he will cook it?
to cook the proper paella,
Oh.
and you will.
I would love it.
Try.
Is it true that in Spain there's some areas where I've heard this, like towns you'll come in and they'll have a gigantic pan that they're
Yeah.
cooking paella in.
You can cook a paella bigger
you
than
should move there.
bigger than this table, maybe easily. So when we have for us it's typical to eat paella on Sundays with the family, friends, and so we can cook a paella not as big as this table, but maybe half table. So we sit on a table like that, round table, and everyone eats from the paella,
Yeah.
not on the plates. So till the paella is not finished, no one can stand up.
Oh.
You have to eat to finish the paella. We put a glass here, and we put a salad on the top, and we cook the paella. We put the salad there. We eat the salad, drinks, everything. I will send you some pictures on the.
I got to
Yeah.
see that. Yeah. Cause I've
Every-
always heard about it.
For us, it's we say a Sunday without paella is not a Sunday.
Oh, that's
Wow.
perfect.
Yeah.
You need to say that.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way. What's your dad's name?
Javier, like me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, Javier, bring the paella to
Yeah.
Laguna Seca. We want it really bad. So
We will deal with that.
I have one last question.
Yeah.
Is Josh Heron being nice to you, or
Yeah, we are.
you haven't?
No, we spent the last 10 days together, and he's helping me a lot, especially because I'm new on here and trying to tell to me some tips, or you have to do that, you have to do that. This championship is like this track you will like it. So we are trying to be kind each other, because maybe in the future he can be my teammate.
Yeah, it'd be
in the
perfect with
Superbike.
2 Superbikes.
That would be mega. We are pushing Bobby and the team to do that for the next season.
Yeah, we all are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be good.
I want to talk about that just real quick for a second. The whole idea of teammates. Of course, your teammate's the first one you want to beat. We always know that. Except you get some advantages from having a teammate, right? I mean, with setup and things like that. Even if your setup is different, does it help to have somebody on your team?
Say again.
Does it help to have a teammate on the same bike as you?
Yeah, of course. In order to develop the bike, is good. For example, in Atlanta, he's now alone on the team on the Superbike, and he's new on that bike. I have a lot of experience on that bike.
Oh, so you help him?
Yeah, and
Okay.
In Atlanta after FP1, FP2, I didn't tell to him directly because it's sometimes you don't want to receive that information from another rider. But I tell to the crew chief, I say, look, for me the bike is quite low, and he is shaking everywhere, and he has a lot of physical problems because he couldn't stop the bike, and they changed a lot the bike in the way we always work on that bike, like making the bike breathe a little bit more fluid and so. And he did a massive step. So he has a good talent. He's fast rider, but on this bike especially, this is a good bike, but it's not an easy bike to set, especially with Dunlop, because that bike was made for Pirellis.
Right.
And if you are able to manage that and you have a good setup, it can be a unbeatable bike, but you need some experience on this bike. So I'm trying to help him, not directly, but with the crew chief. Look, try this, try that. It's a good way. I mean, I like to help, and I like to see him on the front, because he was kind of like me on his career. He had a lot of ups and downs, and now was on a good moment, and I like to see him on the podium.
Yeah.
One more. When you come here and you start riding the V2,
Mm-hmm.
do you start with the setup that you left Atlanta, or do you start with the setup from Heron's notes from last year here?
No, I will start from the Atlanta setup. My setup comparing Josh is a little bit different.
Okay.
Because I'm higher than him, I'm heavier than him, so I need different. This is what happened in Daytona. I was using a setup they had from the last year, and I was not fitting. I was not good on the bike, and then I had no laps to set the bike by myself. So I bring the guy from Ducati for Atlanta to set the bike in order to have the package I have now, and the bike was much better.
Okay, we got to call it.
Yeah. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks to you guys.
Xavier Forés from
the past.
Actually Lombay. Is it Lombay, Spain?
John Bay.
Oh, okay. That's too much for me. I can say paella, and that's about
paella.
it. Yeah.
John Bay.
But, thanks for being on with us. And to everybody out there, we're obviously at Barber Motorsports Park, and we're looking forward to seeing what Xavi can do in this extended race with a pit stop. It's going to be interesting with strategy. Yeah. And this guy has done a lot of endurance racing, so he's well-versed in how to do that stuff. So we wish you luck. And actually, we wish you luck that you're going to continue and be in Superbike next year with us, too.
Me too. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ciao, guys.